Juicy, delicious burgers, ice cold, mouth-watering barbecue. My 3 favorite food groups. Tonight, it's all about classic places that make classic dishes. First, we'll hit up a New York institution where I'll meet up with Mario Batali, who first introduced me to this town's quintessential cheeseburger.
This is my favorite burger in town.
Then we're heading down to Nashville, where an old-school pitmaster smoking ribs the classic Tennessee way. This is why I like Tennessee. Finally, we visit my hometown of Cleveland, where a legendary local brewery pairs their in-house beers with some Cleveland classics. Little Polish pillows of love. I'm traveling the country to show you the best burgers, brew, Q, and everything in between. Each place, I'll show you my perfect meal, and I call it the Symon Says. I'm Michael Symon. You want to know where I go on my days off? Join me for Burgers, Brew, and Q. There's thousands of restaurants in New York City, and lots of them serve up great burgers. But there's one spot that's been hailed as the classic burger joint for over 50 years. And it's the place where the best chefs go to get the best burgers in town. This is where I come with my buddy Mario Batali, Corner Bistro. Come check it out.
Hello, Mike.
How are you, Harold? Good to see you. 15 years ago, Batali brought me here. We sat there, we had a burger, juice running down my face. I mean, I've been coming here ever since. How long have you guys been doing this for?
We've been doing it for 50 years.
Wow.
When I first started, it actually was a bistro, but the space was too small to make it as a full-service restaurant.
Okay.
We finally hit on the burger concept.
I would say hit is the understatement of the decade. I mean, you guys are putting like, what, 300 burgers out a day?
On a busy day, sure.
You want to show me how this thing's made?
Come on in.
You feel like you're stepping back in time being here.
And hands down, this place is the best burger place in the city.
Could you just show me the classic burger?
Absolutely. This is a half-pound patty that we make here. The meat is super fresh. We have our meat ground every day. Then we throw it on a grill that we call a salamander. The secret to our burgers isn't any seasoning. It's good meat cooking slowly.
It's actually a lot of times how you'll see a steak cooked at a steakhouse.
Right.
And that's what makes the burger so special. Believe it or not, they cook it for 15 minutes. As it cooks, the fat melts and it actually bastes the meat.
That's right.
So that's what keeps it so juicy. No fat, no base, no flavor, no happiness. Do you have a certain grind or anything?
Our butcher uses a good mix of round, sirloin, and chuck. We make the beef the center of our burger. Not the bun, not the fancy lettuce, not the tomatoes.
But this is a chef's hangout. When I came here, I was amazed how many chefs were here kind of after work, sitting at the bar, grabbing a cold beer, and having just a perfect burger. Has the burger ever changed?
Never.
Never changed. 'Cause you don't change perfection.
We use American cheese here. It doesn't overwhelm the taste of the meat.
When I want that classic American taste, it's got to be that super melty, awesome American cheese.
Yeah, you don't put brie on it. No.
Thick, raw onion on the bottom, which is going to give you that crunch.
And nicely cooked maple smoked bacon on top. Here's some napkins.
I'm going to need them. Look at that. Thick, juicy. Oh, yeah. It's so good. It's every bit I remembered the first time I came here 15 years ago. Slightly charred on the outside, thick, crunchy onion. That is classic burger perfection. And there's nothing like a good old-fashioned American burger to bring people together. Show her the trick. You gotta...
Just squanch it. Okay, squanch.
These are the keys to happiness, people.
It's true.
But if you leave Corner Bistro without trying the chili cheese fries,
I got mustard. Oh, thanks.
you're really missing out.
We start with about 7 pounds of meat, paprika,
Got a little bit of red pepper flake,
black pepper.
cumin. Man, chili's not chili without cumin.
Right.
Cumin's gonna give it that like slightly smoky little depth of flavor in there.
Chili powder.
I like where you're going here, Harold.
Big boy.
I like where you're going. That's the backbone spice. How many of these?
8.
1, 2, that's 6, 4, 3.
And I think we have 8.
And you know, if you have 9, it's still gonna be great.
Oh, yeah. And then the beer.
Oh,
Now, this is just pretty straightforward,
Yeah,
like
a lager.
Pilsner lager. Okay.
The beer adds to volume, flavor.
I mean, I love beer. It's a food group for me.
And we use a can of whole tomatoes, crush them up by hand.
That's how my grandma used to do it
That's
for
the way you do
sauce.
it. That's your basic chili.
I love those thin-cut fries. Their saltiness is gonna pair great with that beer-infused chili.
It's a tremendous amount of food. You got to bring an appetite.
Well, don't worry about me, Harold. I can put it down. Ooh, oh my God.
There's nothing like crisp fries and deep, rich chili to set your heart on fire.
You could really taste the beer in the chili, which I love. I mean, this is such a special place, and it's just all about great ingredients, 50 years of tradition. Nothing beats a classic.
Except sharing that classic with an old friend.
Check it out, Patels.
Did you move up to Food Runner?
I have moved up to Food Runner, and I learned how they make the burgers. 15 years ago, you brought me here, and I've been coming ever since. For you, is this like the classic American burger?
For me, the classic American burger has American cheese that I've learned from you.
Right.
It has crisp bacon.
Right.
And it has a sesame seed bun.
Absolutely.
But it's done everything right. I mean, this is my favorite burger in town, despite the fact that there's a lot of trendy burgers being sold for 3 times what this is. Not that they offend me, because I like them. First of all, the bun's the right size.
Yep.
The burger's the right size.
The American cheese is properly melted.
This is like a regular working man's bar.
Absolutely.
With the working people's hamburgers, working people prices.
Fries, lots of beer in the chili.
Right? Good raw onion, cut today.
Who's got it better than us, Batali?
Nobody, man.
Corner Bistro, for me, the Simon Says, is a classic bacon cheeseburger, the Bistro Burger, and the delicious, decadent chili cheese fries. All right, Patels, here's to you. You introduced me to this place 15 years ago. I've been loving it ever since.
That's pure beef pleasure, my friend.
Coming up, we're headed to Nashville, where a classic Tennessee approach makes magic out of meat and smoke. And later, we mix beer and cheese to make the best soup I've ever had.
Getting excited. I got a little shimmy.
Tennessee is known for its dry ribs, and no one does this classic better than Kerry Bringle at Peg Leg Porker.
His personality is every bit as big as his flavors. His classic West Tennessee ribs are some of the best I've ever had. Peg Leg Porker, come check it out. What's up, Kerry? Good to see you.
Good to see
Everything
you.
good?
Everything's great.
So tell them why Peg Leg Porker.
Oh, well, if you notice, I've got the one leg. I lost my leg at 17 to bone cancer. It's a moment in life where you got to make a decision. You're either going to sit around and pout about it or you're going to move forward. We moved forward with a positive attitude and turned it into a lifestyle brand.
This is the happiest guy you're ever going to meet. He turns a bad into a good, and now you get some of the best barbecue in the United States. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you. I'm flattered.
Do you want to tell America how you feel about dry ribs?
We do a true Memphis dry rib, which is smoked with nothing on it except for kosher salt, and it gets hit with the dry seasoning at the end of the process. You get the full flavor of the smoke and the full flavor of all the seasoning.
Right, absolutely. As opposed to the wet ribs where the sauce can kind of overpower the flavor.
That's right, that's right.
We're going to do our best to try to convince people dry ribs are the way to go.
That's the way to go.
All right, let's go make some dry ribs.
All right, sounds great.
Ribs were perfect tenderness, they were moist, flavor, consistency of the meat on the bone. They really nailed it.
What cut of ribs do you use?
We're using what most people would know as a baby back, but technically it's a loin back because we use such a big one. And the only thing that we're going to do to it is take this kosher salt to kind of bring out the flavor and draw in the smoke. We're going to cook them at 275 for about 3.5 to 4 hours.
So that's what makes them Tennessee-style barbecue. Salt only, goes in the smoker, and all the spices come after they're cooked.
And you see they've got that beautiful golden color.
Yeah, like that, almost like a sheen to them.
Now we're going to put our dry seasoning on it, and you're going to still get the brightness of that dry seasoning because we hadn't cooked the flavor out of it.
Got it.
Paprika, onion powder, whole mustard seed. It's about 12 to 16 spices that we've got in there. This is what made Tennessee famous for barbecue, these type of ribs.
Well, let's hack into some ribs, baby.
All right.
Oh, man.
So you see that nice pink in there?
Oh, yeah. They're so juicy. Dry doesn't mean that the meat is dry.
No.
It just means that there's no sauce. These ribs are juicy as can be. They don't need sauce. The spices come through. You can really taste the pork with that nice, mellow smoke flavor, super juicy rib, tender. man.
That's how they ought to be.
This is why I like Tennessee.
And Tennessee loves peg leg porker.
Oh, it's a party. It's fun. It's casual.
You can't eat ribs with a fork. Oh, my God.
While the ribs are classic, their one-of-a-kind appetizers are like nothing I've ever seen.
Never had the Memphis sushi before and enjoyed the hell out of it.
So what goes in Memphis sushi?
A basic soda cracker, sharp cheddar cheese, smoked kielbasa with dry seasoning on it.
Kielbasa, that's a Midwestern thing.
That's right.
You're hanging out with me too long.
Yeah, I guess so. You stack that all in one bite, put a little sauce on top. That's why we call it Memphis sushi.
In my opinion, this is what sushi should have always been.
That's right.
So you make your own sausage here.
We stuff the kielbasa, we smoke it.
Kielbasa is a classic smoked Eastern European sausage.
Look at that.
It has a great fat content. It's spicier than most sausages.
And it's just texturally fantastic.
We're gonna saute it with the dry seasoning.
I can't tell you how much I love kielbasa. I love this
Memphis
so much.
sushi.
This is how sushi's supposed to be. Cracker, cheddar, kielbasa.
Now a little bit of sauce.
That's like
There you
Memphis
go.
wasabi. So good.
What's not to love?
It's so good.
It looks simple, but the flavors just explode in your mouth.
You got that smoky fattiness from the kielbasa. All those seasonings you put on there really come out. You get that great texture because you gave it to sear. If I ordered it thinking it was sushi, when it came, I'd actually be very excited.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I don't have to eat this pesky fish.
After all that delicious meatiness, it's time to add some vegetables.
The smoked green beans, right?
Smoky and just awesome.
I've never been this happy eating vegetables. There's smoked green beans.
Right.
I love it that even you smoke the vegetables
That's
here.
right. We've got our green beans,
Okay.
the white onion that we cut in slivers. We've got a pound of bacon in here. It may be one of the most simple things we do in here, but when we add the smoke, something magical happens. And I tell you, this is one of our best-selling sides.
This is the only place I've ever seen someone put green beans in the smoker.
And how long do these go in the smoker?
3.5 hours.
Oh, for a while. And what time?
275. As we pull them out,
Oh, the onions have kind of charred. The bacon's crispy.
you can see that we've got some on top that have taken a little more smoke, and we're going to just mix them all around. You see that layer of smoke sort of rolls into all of them.
It's amazing the aroma that comes off of these after a couple hours in that smoker. Oh, yeah. You get some of that sweetness and earthiness kind of from the beans, a little bit of smokiness on the back end. Oh, just a little cup of love. This is delicious. Oh, there it is. That bacon's, it's hanging on. It doesn't have a fighting
That's
chance.
right. Vegetarians ask us this, even in the green beans?
Right. Even in the green
Even in the
beans.
green beans, yeah.
All right, here's my Simon Says and Peg Leg Porker. The star of the show, the classic West Tennessee dry smoked ribs,
Where the focus is all that great pork flavor and then a little bit of Memphis sushi.
smoked kielbasa, cheddar cheese, and crackers.
And on the side,
Smoked green beans, white onion, smoked bacon.
all kinds of delicious.
Peg Leg Porker is some of the best Tennessee barbecue you're ever gonna taste.
Coming up, I chowed on a Cleveland classic
Put it down. I gotta eat it.
and elevate a magnificent meal with a perfect brew.
Oh, Pat, I'm so happy right now.
Nothing makes me happier than returning to my hometown. And when another Cleveland native heard I was heading here, she sent me a video message saying, there's one place you cannot miss.
Hi, Michael. If you go to Cleveland and you don't visit Great Lakes Brewery, don't ever show your face in Ohio again. I know where you live.
Come on, Patty, I'm not gonna miss Great Lakes Brewing. Everybody knows it's the Cleveland Classic.
That pairs great food with great beer.
Hey, Pat, how are you? So good to see you. Great Lakes has been a part of my life for well over 20 years now.
When we came, there were no breweries left in Cleveland. When we started, there was probably like 4 or 5 dozen breweries in the whole country. Now it's close to 4,000.
A lot of breweries or pubs take the food for granted, and,
Right.
and you guys don't.
We've pursued very vigorously on the food front, buying local and organic and seasonal. And then we take beer and we make sauces, dressings, sausages.
You guys really have changed the game. You can see all the awards and gold medals on the wall for your beer. So I want to taste 3 of the classic dishes, and then
Right.
maybe you could think of some beers that'll pair perfectly with that.
Sounds great.
Cleveland's original craft brewery has been serving up good times for decades.
The food's always good. The beer's always good. The company's always good.
Hey, Rock.
Welcome, Chef.
How are you?
Good.
It's good to be here. One of the staples at Great Lakes is the Stilton Cheddar Ale Soup.
Correct.
It's got everything that I want in soup, including a good amount of Dortmunder.
That's true.
Which is a signature gold lager, just a hint of malt and hops.
Well, we start off with 4 ounces of butter. Add your mirepoix in.
We got carrots, onions, celery. Is it like equal parts for you guys?
And then you add your flour in.
We need something to hold the fat.
Once you get the flour cooked out, I start adding the beer and the cream now.
Oh.
So I'm gonna start with the Dortmunder.
We get to our happy place.
Yeah, you got your glass?
I got it, yeah, really. So why Dortmunder?
It goes well with the cheddar cheese.
Right, because it's a good, smooth, simple beer.
Right. Throw in a little veggie stock. This is just a crumbled blue cheese.
I like how it's getting a little more backbone this way.
Right. And then a Stilton, the English blue. Now the cheddar.
Come on, Rock, admit it. I'm the best whisker you ever seen. It's like a workout. It's like going to the gym.
All right.
Oh, Rock, you're not screwing around, man. Way better than whisking. Oh, yeah. Oh, cheese. Beer and cheese. Cheese and beer. Magical words together. Oh, yeah. It's good. A relatively simple soup, uplifted because of the quality ingredients. The Dortmunder is the backbone, and then you get those 3 different delicious cheeses that all kind of play a different role. The Stilton adds a little bit of fat and creaminess. The blue cheese gives it a little bit of funk, and the cheddar really gives it that great sharpness. There's never a time I come into this restaurant that I don't get the cheddar and ale soup.
The Stilton Cheddar Ale Soup is a great way to start your meal, and when you're ready for a real Cleveland classic, you've got to have the Bratwurst and pierogi.
Clevelanders love pierogis. I got pierogi earrings.
Good again. All right, Rock. The Cleveland classic, baby.
Cleveland classic, yeah.
Brat and pierogi.
This pierogi is potato and cheese wrapped in dough.
Think of it like the Eastern European version of a ravioli, but more delicious.
Because unlike ravioli, they're fried in a pan and extra crispy.
Middle is just like
nice and soft
and pillowy, so that texture coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, happy place.
We're gonna take some red cabbage.
All right.
We're gonna braise it in some brown sugar, red wine vinegar.
I'm getting excited. I got a little shimmy. What do we do next?
We're gonna get this bratwurst going.
Oh, Rock, you're talking my language now. A brat is a Eastern European style sausage. It typically has a blend of both pork and veal. Who's the butcher for the sausage?
Shukarai.
Shukarai, great West Side Market butcher.
So they take those brats that are fresh and then they steam them in our beer and cryovac it and then send it to us.
Really, Great Lakes built its reputation and its name on beer, and you guys have figured out how to cook with it and work it into dishes, which just makes everything just a little more delicious. I can't wait any longer. We got to get this on a plate.
All right, let's get you together then.
Oh, a little bit of that sweet and sour cabbage. Now the pierogi. Oh, boy.
Come your best part right here.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Oh, a little bit of mustard.
Just some mustard.
Oh, you're getting fancy with the dots. I like it.
A little sour cream for
little
the
sour
pierogi.
cream for the pierogi.
There you go.
Oh, Rock, come on. Put it down. I gotta eat it. So I'm gonna go pierogi first.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Crunchy on the outside, creamy on the inside. Just perfection. Time for that brat. Oh, man.
Hola.
Oh, yeah, I'm so happy right now.
All right, this is our award-winning Elliott Ness. It's an amber lager, so it goes terrific with sausages and pierogies.
Oh, it's really good. It has a little bit of hoppiness to it, but it's a pretty clean ale. The brats, they're perfectly smooth. The texture's perfect. I love the char on the outside. The pierogies are classic, potato and cheese, great with the sour cream. The sweet and sour cabbage puts the whole thing over the edge. To me, this dish is Cleveland.
Pierogis are actually my favorite.
I come for the beer, but I love the food.
And the food just happens.
Yeah.
Coming up, a classic dessert even better than homemade.
Oh, yeah.
And then inspiration strikes.
Pat, we need more beer.
I'm here at Cleveland's classic brewery. I've already devoured the Stilton Cheddar Ale Soup, the Bratwurst and pierogis, and now I need one sweet house-made treat to round out the perfect meal.
This bread pudding is really good. It's one of my favorite things at Great Lakes. It's really awesome.
So is there any beer in this?
There's no beer in it.
So we're just gonna drink beer with it?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Take some day-old bread, crumble it up, and then we start to add our ingredients. Start with our eggs here. Throw some sugar in there.
It's almost like a custard that gets mixed into the bread.
Yeah, so we'll add some cream in there. Throw some vanilla in.
Oh, boy. Just use a standard white bread?
Use a standard white bread or French bread, either one. Want to add some raisins?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, boy, this is fun. To work with food with your hands, it makes you understand the textures and how things should feel, and it makes you a better cook. How's that look?
Looks good. Dump it right in.
Just kind of pack it down.
Yep. So now we'll just throw some plastic wrap and some foil over it.
So what the plastic wrap's doing is it's the layer between the pudding and the foil, and it's going to help the steaming process, and it doesn't melt at all.
Right.
It just stays right in between, keeps everything nice and moist. To the oven.
To the oven. Let the bread pudding cook for 2 hours.
All right, Rock, the moment of truth, baby.
The finished product.
Oh, we still get that nice crust, and then you get that great creamy center on the inside. And then what's next?
Yeah, throw a little whipped cream on top, a little dash of cinnamon.
Oh, yeah. Pat, we need more beer.
It's funny you should ask.
I've never had the Great Lakes experience quite like this. I need you at my house. We have the house-made bread pudding. What beer are you suggesting with this?
Our Edmund Fitzgerald Porter actually almost tastes like you're having a cup of coffee with dessert.
Amazing bread pudding. It's creamy and rich, gets the sweetness from the raisins, perfect comfort dessert. And then the Edmund Fitzgerald, because it has a little bit of that nuttiness and slight bitterness, kind of cuts through it, but goes with it perfectly. Here's my Simon Says at Great Lakes Brewing Company. I start with the rich beer-infused Stilton Cheddar Ale Soup. Then, the Cleveland Classic, Bratwurst and pierogis served over a bed of sweet and sour cabbage. And for dessert, the sweet, fluffy bread pudding. And to wash it all down, a Dortmunder, a crisp, smooth beer for all seasons that ties the whole meal together. Great Lakes Brewing Company, a true Cleveland classic.